Understanding human nature as well as understanding you as a person is the only biggest assignment of your life. While some people think that the people that really matters are those with beauty, wealth, success, or fame, but honestly, the only reason you might be thinking that way is because you really do not know who you are. My name is Jennifer K.O. and in this video, I'm gonna be sharing my knowledge and understanding of what it means to be a human being. So let's start by defining human being. The term human distinguishes human being from every other kind of beings. And person, that is now your personalities, your characters, your qualities, your attributes that makes you unique from everybody else. So that was just a general definition. But I want us to dive deeper into what are we really, our background, like where do we come from, or what is behind us, how did we get here, who are we? By saying that, I'm going to be sharing a definition of us human being, or maybe what we are according to the Bible. Now look, in the Bible, we were all created in God's image. That means we are living symbols of God here on earth because we were made or created in His image. And that our big job or our big task is to look after everything that God has created. So we are taking care of this world on His behalf. So humans, according to Bible, we are like representatives or ambassadors of God. There's actually one verse that I would love to share with you. You know, when I was trying to finding out on how can I best describe human, how can I let someone understand about themselves, who they are, and what it means to be here on earth. So I came across this verse that speaks about us, and it completely changed how I viewed or how I see other people. Here's the verse. Psalms of chapter 8, verse 3 to 8. It says, "When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what is the mankind that you are mindful of them? Humans that you care for them. You have made them a little lower than the angels and crowned them with glory and honor. You made them rulers over the works of your hands. You put everything under their feet, all flocks and herds, and the animals of the wild, the birds in the sky, and the fish in the sea, all that swim the paths of the sea." It was until I understood that verse. Now I came to realize that all humans here on earth do matter. We are all valuable. We are all equal to God. He values us regardless of our differences. We matter not only to Him, but also to the world, because He has trusted all of us to be here, to do something here for Him. So the big question you might be asking yourself is, why is it important to understand about other humans or to understand myself? The reason for you to understand humans is for better communication. Because whatever you do in this life here on earth, you will be dealing with people until the end of your life. So it's as simple as the better you are in understanding them or in dealing them, in handling them, the happier you'll be, the longer you might live, and far you can achieve. That is the only main reason for you to understanding people. Because you need people for everything, in everything, through everything. There is nothing that you're going to accomplish. There is nothing that you're going to do by yourself without the help of people. Actually, as I was trying to search for this topic, I jumped into something that I said, no, I was gonna bring it here to share it with you. Look, you know what I found? It's really interesting to me personally of how when we try to explain the human being, most of the physical or maybe the scientific materials, they won't really acknowledge of wanting to understand where the human being comes from, or they will tend to cut off the spiritual part of human being. So this is what I found from Google of how they suggest you could understand a human being. I'm going to read this for you. It says, to understand the human being, both the domain of consciousness as well as the domain of physical, as well as the domain of materials need to be understood. For human being to be fulfilled, both domains need to be fulfilled separately. I want you to keep in mind that they are speaking of two domains here. They just spoke of the domain of what? Consciousness and material. Now I'm going to tell you later what they mean by this. So they added that human being is coexistence of the self-consciousness and the body, in bracket material. Now this word gets interesting for me. You know how we usually speak about approaching a human, or maybe the term that I've been speaking probably here on my channel, you might find it a lot, about conscious living, about consciousness, about holistic approach of where you consider a human, or you cannot solve anything to a human or find anything without considering these three things: a body, a mind, and a spirit. So here we go. So they say they consider human, or you need to approach human to understand it. There are two domains that they mentioned, that the consciousness. So the consciousness is actually what the outer word think or calls of a spirit. So to me, I will tell you consciousness domain that Google is referring here is the spiritual word, or the spiritual being of a human. And then the material, of which it's the body, of which it contains a mind inside, is what they are referring as material. So these are the two domains that Google is suggesting that for you to understand the human, you need to understand these two domains separately. And I want you to go back. It's something that I would like you to take your time and go through and dive a little bit deeper to get more understanding of what the truth are. The truth is, you can't separate a spiritual being from you. You can't, because you're a spirit in a physical body. What they're terming here as consciousness is actually that spirit that is inside. This is very important for you to understand. That's what I'm telling you, it's the biggest assignment of your life. The biggest assignment is not what you can achieve, is not what you can do, is actually to understanding you. There is nothing you can do here by your own understanding. Nothing. And why they say it is very important for you to understand other people, because remember, you have the spiritual being that is inside. All informations, all details of every task of your calling or anything that you are supposed to do here, you get direct information, direct to you. You do not get any of this information on the outside world. What you get on the outside or from the outside, it's just about on how to knowing how to deal with these people for you to accomplish whatever you have been called here to accomplish. So, the final thing I would like to tell you is to encourage you to take yourself very seriously. If you haven't been taking yourself seriously, please start doing that now, because you are so important. You are of high value. You matter more than you have ever imagined. You matter to God, and you matter to this world. Stop thinking yourself less of who you are. And for you to achieve that, to finding you, to knowing you, your real value, is when you start acting consciously. And be very mindful of your actions, because your actions matters a lot. Now, as you know, your actions are results of two things: results of your choices and results of your decisions. So those two, they are not visible and they are not hard. Many of us might not know what you have been choosing or what you have been deciding. They are mostly done in your mind. But the actions is what we see. And then those actions are actually that says or gives us the glimpse of who you are, or what you think, or how you see yourself. and how you perceive the world surrounding you. While most of us really don't like being told on how to live, especially by God, we always want all the freedom to do whatever we want. But that's not the case when it comes here, into knowing who you really are, into knowing your purpose for existence, into achieving or accomplish that calling that you have been called here to do. If you have been thinking, or you have been that type of person of don't tell me what to do, no, you need to start considering, especially when God speaks to you. You really need to be open-minded. I'm not saying that you should take whatever people tells you, but I want you to always put them in consideration. Always listen, because I'm pretty sure if you find yourself where values, you find, your characters, there's some people that you're going to attract. And this is depending on what you do, how you present yourself, how you show up into this world. So it's really important you understand how your actions matters, especially to God, because He creates you and He really does care a lot about that. He does. Because remember, you are representing Him here. Of course, He won't let you be whatever you want to be. His image has His standards, has values. He won't just let you keep His image different from what it's supposed to be, because He loves you enough. But also, always remember that we are supposed to be key players in a big plan of partaking in God's creation. As we said, we are usually co-creating with Him. So when we don't care what happens to the world, we are really failing Him, or we are failing to partaking to our calling that we have been called here to do. When we don't treat people with respect, we are betraying Him, because He created everybody and everybody is of value to Him. When we ignore God or disobey Him, we are simply undermining our very own reason of existence. And that's the main source of our struggles and suffering. So I encourage you today to take your time to find you and understand that you are the biggest assignment or biggest project you will ever have here on earth. Spend most of your time focusing on you. Improve yourself the best you can. Don't ever stop upgrading yourself. And don't ever stop seeking God in your life. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. Please, if you find this video meaningful or helpful to you, give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe if you haven't done so. My name is Jennifer K.O. and I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. I will see you on the next video.